What is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good one. 9 times out of 10, and that's the case, but hey, you gotta keep on thriving, gotta keep on striving, gotta keep on living. First month knocked down, first month to go as a closer. It has been incredible. The entire journey, just from back in Kuwait last year, being there from January all the way up to July or something. I don't even know how long it was, but I know it wasn't like anything past 5 months. But anyway, I got into my first cold calling role out in Kuwait, out in Ali Al Salim, the air base that I was stationed at. And I just remember going into it so blind. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if it was a scam or not. I didn't know. I had all these things going on in my head because naturally that was such a weird time. I was trying to take therapy lessons too, to like figure out some stuff in my life, to resurface myself. And I was also doing sales as a way to, I seen it as like something that can make money fast. And I got humbled, I really did. But I remember just sitting out there, sitting on a lawn chair, and I just seen a Humvee drive by and like a fighter, F-35 or F-15, I don't know which one because it wasn't during that time. But anyway, seeing jets fly by and just looking at like the distance at the horizon, because I'll tell you what, the sunsets out in Kuwait, the sunsets out in like the desert, they are like a movie in Star Wars. When Luke, he walks out to the to the plain desert and he looks at the sun and everything. That's how it looked. But I was sitting there just calling up people in regards to lead gen and setting them up for a meeting. And truth be told, for 2 months I didn't close a single person. I didn't get a single person booked. So it was definitely very hard. I got humbled so fast, and ultimately I quit. I quit a little bit farther into my deployment. And that hit because I was just like, I truly believed. I was like, wow, this is great. I'm learning so much. I'm learning more about myself than I've ever did with sales. I'm learning so much about who I am, and it just all got a little too much with the job, with everything else. I decided to quit. And in my mind, I was like, I'll visit this maybe in October, and I'm glad I did. But anyway, throughout that time frame, the transition and all that, it was always in the back of my head. I took a break. I stopped learning. I stopped doing all that, and a little bit while later, around September time frame, when I got back at the job, I knew, I was like, it's time. It's time to go back. It's time to go back and do it the right way. Because I felt like my time in Kuwait, I just didn't do it the right way, right? And so transitioning, I ended up getting back onto my, not my old offer. I ended up getting on an offer as a cold caller, and I did that for a certain amount of time. And really, time started slipping. This year coming up, November is a big month. We are completely going back to Tampa. We're doing the reserves. We're doing that entire transition. So at the time, as a cold caller, when I ended up coming back, I started realizing, I was like, I need to make some big changes, because if not, we're going to be stuck again. And it stemmed from that time framing decision. I was like, you know what? We're going to go reserves. We're going to do this full time, and we're going to absolutely kill it. And I know we're going to make, exactly what we need to make. I know we're going to run our own offer, and I believe in it. I see the vision. And once I saw that vision, I knew it was, there's nothing stopping me. And so that's what it turned into. December time frame was really a decision where I was like, look, we got to go all in. Like, you got to let all the marbles out. You got to do it. And I was pushing for a closing role. Now, I didn't find that closing role with the offer that I was on currently, just because they were scaling, but they already had a bunch of closers. So I respectfully told them, I was like, hey, I'm going to go find a different offer that can give me a closing role. And lo and behold, I sent out my emails, I sent out everything. And one thing for sure, at the same time though, it might have been the looms that I sent that might have been a little bit too intrusive, but just something for you guys to think about. Remember, you never know who you will meet in the future. The world is a small world, even though it doesn't feel like that. And so always treat people with respect. There was a few times where some of the people that I ended up reaching out to naturally ended up discrediting, what group I've been in, what I've done, stuff like that. So it's always interesting. right? Because I know 10 years down the line, if I ever see that person again, it's kind of like, I'll remember you. I remember you for, I forgive you, but I remember. So anyway, so I ended up getting onto a new offer. It wasn't a closing role because he was like, so have you had any closing experience? I was like, no. And he was like, okay, so what I can do is we can set you up as a setter because we're starting up this offer right now. We're trying to scale it fast and we only have one closer. And we don't have that many leads. So I was like, okay. Learned all about pressure, learned all about authority, learned all about just being an authoritative figure on the call, learn all about conviction, learn all about confidence, learn all about everything there. That was an incredible offer. And I was only there for about a month or two. And shout out to y'all for breaking that down into me. Basically showing my flaws and me being able to figure that out. And I realized I was like, I'm not going to get a closing role anytime soon in this position. So lo and behold, life works mysterious ways. If you work your ass off and you do your thing and you're not a dick, it comes back in fruition. And so I ended up getting a message from my old offer and they're like, hey, we're in the, we need another closer and I think you're ready for it and we're looking for you to keep you long term. So if this is something you want to do, I know you have all your goals and I know where you're at right now. I know exactly what you're doing. So if this is the case, let's work. And I took the offer. And after that, the first month, which it was definitely one of the most interesting time frames, we made in commission total 1,000. It was like 1,050. Now, I've never seen money happen like that ever in my life, other than waiting for a paycheck to come in. So the fact that in 1 month I ended up getting $1,000 off of, the commission that I got from it, it really showed. And that was me just not even trying. Like, I felt like I wasn't even trying. I felt like I was just like taking the calls, and one or every few so people genuinely wanted to join. So it wasn't too hard to actually do it, but I wasn't trying that month, February. And so it went to show. So once all that happened, I realized, I was like, this is doable. This is 100% doable. This is like grotesquely, I don't even know if that's a word, but grotesque doable. And with that being said, I was like, it's time. I knew it's time to fully dive into this, fully get into it. So we just closed someone yesterday too, for the first month of March. We're killing it so far. It's gonna be nice to see that roll in. And we have another one that we closed for next week that we're gonna end up closing. He has to put half of his other payment in, so it's kind of exciting. And another thing that I learned specifically with this, my most important lesson, because I'm looking at exactly what I put on here. Most important lesson is just don't give up. Just don't give up. I know that sounds corny, but the moment you give up, you might as well just, I'm not gonna say off yourself, but the moment you give up, you might as well just throw in the towel for the rest of your life. There's no point of doing anything else. So never give up. Always reroute. If you feel like, you genuinely feel like this road you're taking isn't working, reroute. But never give up. I've had some bad weeks in February that I was just like, oh, this sucks. And I wasn't looking at the long-term picture. And last week was one of the best weeks I've ever had. And it's not even a great week. I only had like 2 people. And so it's like, I started seeing, I was like, what's the standards? And with that being said, yeah, that's my most important lesson. Just never give up, man. You have a lot of people that get into this, and another sort of quote that I live by now is, you don't bring sand to the beach. A lot of people genuinely want to learn about something, but they want to get all the information prior to actually being involved. And that's not how it works, right? So another thing too is your whole attitude. Your whole attitude makes up everything. And one of the big things that David in our Affinity Sales Training Group, he's one of the owners, he said was, a lot of the times you realize the people that do extraneous things, do extraneous activities, whether it's running a marathon or doing something really big or trying to do stuff like that, there's a reason why they do that, because once you get over that, once you go through that, once you go through, say, like military training, once you go through all the extra stuff, whatever big goal you have, you start to realize everything else is simple. Everything else becomes stress-free. So with this, the fact that I made 1,000 in a month and I didn't even try, it's kind of like that. Okay, that's the standard. Okay, I'm gonna make 1,000 next month. I'm gonna make 1,000 next month. So it's not anything hard, you know. But a lot of people hesitate because they let a million different things get in the way. You know, I had somebody I was talking to, and I could tell he was hesitant because he didn't really know much. But at the same time, I was like, look, man, you gotta dive in. Like, you're in the military too, I'm in the military too. You gotta give it all. I know you probably don't see too much of what's happening, but it's the fact that you have to find out and figure it out. Nobody's just gonna give you all the information out front. That's not how it works. If we were to give you all the information out front, you'd be overwhelmed as to what you're supposed to do, what your responsibilities are, what exactly you're doing. You have to truly start finding the seeds to your own life, and by seeds, your own wins, your own, you know, losses, how you learn from them, and take it with stride. I appreciate everybody who has vouched for me, who has continuously supported me, who has been there in my worst times. I appreciate every single one of you. And if I'm not talking to you, or if it's something where I'm just not, you know, we're not talking too often, just know that I'm working ever so hard to make all the support you gave me come to life. So with that, it leads to a lot, but I appreciate you guys, I really do. And I'm gonna close it off from here just because it's a great Saturday. I want to get the rest of the content done that I'm gonna be doing for the week, and also go buy some clothes, change it up a bit. Who knows? We'll see. We got baseball tomorrow, so I'm gonna be excited. But yeah, from top of the world, battery still exists. At the bottom of the depths where life still lives. Do you dare to dream? As a matter of fact, do you dare to take the next step? I'll see y'all later.